Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/infidelity, where OP's cheating wife had a mental breakdown after he mentioned divorce. Let's begin. Third time cheating wife, posted by Reddit user CJ Hart.
Hi, I tried posting this on another related subreddit and it was removed. I read the rules here and I'm very sure it doesn't violate any for this sub. Please mods, if you want to remove this, let me know why. I'm trying to find support for the turmoil I'm feeling, and I don't know who else to turn to but anonymous people on the internet. Anyway, here goes. I met my wife in 2011. I was DJing a social event at school and playing some 90s rock. I was playing Third Eye Blind and my wife liked the song that came on. She talked to me, we bonded over our mutual love of the band, yada yada, we started dating. Fast forward to 2013, we got engaged and we took a trip and celebrated. We have this memory we talk about a lot of listening to the whole Third Eye Blind catalog and singing along to all the songs together. We got married that year. Fast forward through our whole marriage, we had this thing where we would try to see the band as much as we could. We saw them whenever they were on tour, a total of 9 times during our 9 years of marriage. Last night we were supposed to see them for the 10th time. If you're the math in your head, we've been married for 10 years as well. That's coming up in November, so I had this whole thing planned where we would go see the show, stay over at a hotel, have a romantic night. I get home from work on Friday, my wife is getting ready. She looks amazing. I saw a text come on her phone. You know how the rest of the story goes, I don't even want to type it. She met some guy the night before when I was away for work. The part that killed me the most was she wrote that he needed to get condoms, and he's like lol. So I'm left wondering, did they even use any? What does it matter anymore anyway? After reading that, I just left the house and started for the concert. She calls me about 15 minutes later like, where are you? Oh, you know, just on the way to the show. What? Why? You know why? Think long and hard as to why I might be acting this way. I just hang up. Anyway, I think I was in shock still. I was pretty cool about it. But there's some backstory there I don't want to get into as to why I was prepared. She's cheated twice before in the past. I didn't really have any emotions at the time. Actually, when I started typing this was the first time I felt anything. So she calls back and starts going through the motions. Oh, we are just friends. Oh, we didn't actually do it. Oh, I was drunk. Oh, it was just in a little bit. Then it was all come back and let's talk about this like adults, as if I'm the childish one for having stormed out. I'm thinking no. If that happens, I'm not seeing this show. We're just going to talk about how she cheated and she's going to try and seduce me. And that thought grossed me out. I never thought about sex with my wife and felt gross, but then I did. So I got to the concert and the guy scanned my ticket. He looks at me and says there's 2, indicating that he wanted to scan the other one. I just stared at him blankly and said yes, there's 2, and went inside. I was so weird, I felt like I was hypnotized, and then there was the show. Amazing show. I had a good time. I met some nice people in my row and we had a fun time enjoying the concert together. Some lyrics hit a little differently. I've never been so alone, and I've never felt more alive. I felt pretty alive at the concert. I danced with the crowd and screamed my frustrations into the loudspeakers. No one could hear me over the loud rock music. It was over pretty early. I wanted to sit at the bar and drink, but that would have required talking to someone, and I just couldn't outside of the context of the concert. I was thinking about the texts again, so I went to the hotel I had booked for my wife and I went to sleep alone. I woke up to about 30 emails. She was up all night feeling all kinds of emotions, I guess. Guilt, shame, anger at me. Those were the most surreal, the ones where she was mad at me for going through her phone. A lot of bargaining and pleading. The worst was she had sent me cards I had written for her years before. Anniversary cards, birthday cards, Christmas cards. I always hand wrote a letter for her, professing my love for her. I never used to write anyone cards like these, but I did for her. She used to write cards like these for me. She hasn't in a number of years. I think her intent was that upon reading the cards, my heart would soften and I would realize how much I loved her. I would come to my senses and come to her and we would talk it through and I would forgive her and it would all be better. But instead, it just made me realize how much she doesn't love me. At this point, I can't forgive her. I forgave her once and here we are. If I forgive her again, it's just a matter of when, not if, I'm back in this same scenario, writing sob stories on Reddit. The only question now is whether I respect myself to make sure this never happens to me again. Now for OP's first update. Hi all, it's been a little over a month since D-Day, and I have gotten a lot of support and many questions in my inbox regarding an update, so I thought I'd share one. It's been a long month, I'll say that to start. Usually the months go by, but I don't know how it's only been a few weeks. Maybe because the days have been long and I've been staying at my parents'. I'm feeling like myself again, and I'm still stone cold with respect to my soon-to-be ex. I saw a lawyer and he drafted divorce papers. From what I understand, the service hasn't even been rendered yet. And I can understand why, because she's completely manic. How do I know? Well, one day she sent me 19 emails in the span of 10 minutes, each with a picture from our relationship or from her phone recently. Here are some of the subject lines. I've been working on myself and we can do but stuff. Studying all day and night and working on science. Barista and biochemist, miss you though. I painted this. The attached picture was a work of fine art she certainly didn't paint. And I take care of my family, picture of wind chimes. And I made $50,000 to be a model for this, lol, no she didn't. I'm sorry, I'm just sad about Grandma and Andy. Andy died 20 years ago. And I learned how to cook Japanese, store-bought sushi. And I sold my first photograph for $10,000, lol, no she didn't. And I cook vegan in Napa, a bowl of soup. You can lick my butt and I'll lick your butter. I'm free at 4:20 at our house, picture of a beer can. This was just a picture of an olive looking like a vagina. I'll never cheat again, I'm sorry. Wearing this one kills me, it was just her outfit. Now, I'm not looking for nudes or sexy photos from her or anything, but if she's trying to get me back, she won't even send me the same level of shit she was sending her affair partners. She would send them nudes and explicit photos, and I've never gotten those in our entire relationship, even when we were first dating. 4 kids. This was a picture of our cats. 420. Just a picture of her. We can have a baby too. This one wasn't a picture but had the text, I'm sorry for being bipolar. I'll be nicer and go to the mental hospital. Mental health matters. Hope you get help for BP too. Miss you. This is her accusing me of being bipolar. Final message had this subject. I will never cheat again and you can do my butt. So my conclusion here is that she is batshit manic. Obviously, she's showing me all the reasons I left her. We never even talked about or had anal sex. It's not something I ever wanted. So I don't know why she's saying this shit, unless she did it with her affair partner. Gross. Messages come a couple days later. I'm pregnant. It's not my ex from 13 years ago, so I don't know why you're so fucking nuts. Are you gonna help me get an abortion or not? Beyond this, one thing she did was call my work phone and leave a message. She said she talked with my attorney, and he told her that 2 people who love each other should not get a divorce, and they should stay together and get counseling, which he definitely did not say to her. Now, here is the icing on the cake, as if this weren't bad enough. Actually, there's icing in the filling, I'll get to that next. The icing is that coming home from work on Thursday, I get a call from the police, who are stored in my phone as a contact at this point since I've had to deal with them so much. They are well aware of our situation, as they've been called by her at least half a dozen times. So they are apologetic and said, "So, your wife is saying that you broke into the house with a key and stole an antique doll dress." I explain, "No, I didn't, and also if I were to enter the house, it would have been legal since I am on the lease, pay the rent, and there's nothing restricting me from entering the premises like a restraining order." Cop agreed with me. I thanked him for doing his job. Honestly, anyone who says all cops are bastards, nah, these guys have been really understanding about the situation. But now I have to talk to my lawyer on Monday about this because it's fucking bullshit. So here's the cake filling. Friday was my birthday. I turned 37 and celebrated mostly alone. She calls my work at 11 p.m. She leaves a voicemail and I listen to it, thinking she's going to wish me happy birthday. Nope. She asks for money. She asks me to pay some bills. She tells me I'm starving her. She tells me I need to give her money every week, and then she hangs up. She didn't even wish me a happy birthday. So even in her world where she's trying to win me back and gain my favor, she can't even do that right. Anyway, as for me, I'm doing okay. I went to a Jimmy Eat World concert last night at the Man in Philly. Alone, of course. I had bought the tickets a while ago, and again had to go through the indignity of the ticket person asking about the second ticket, and me having to say just me, but I had more fun there alone than I've had with my wife. I danced all night, and at one point, a lady says to me, "You look like a hot bowl of soup," which cracked me up. I probably would have talked with her if I were in a better headspace, but my divorcing status is like kryptonite. No one wants to deal with that, and I don't blame them. Which makes me sad because it seems like this is how it's going to be for the foreseeable future, me alone with no dating prospects. But at this point, I feel like I'll be single till I'm 40. Kids are probably not going to happen for me unless I find someone much younger. I don't know. I went to Hibachi for my birthday with my family, and there were a lot of people there on their birthday. I was envious of the 80-year-old woman with a huge family of multiple generations, and I realized when I'm that age, if I get that far, I won't have anyone but my sister at this rate. Maybe I'll have a wife, but not a family like that. Worse still, my mom was talking about her lack of grandkids at the dinner. So yeah, that's some of my sadness coming through, so I'm not totally okay, I guess. Anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for reading. Hopefully I have some more progress soon on the divorce front. And now, for OP's second update. Hi all, I'm a spouse of a woman who suffers from BP1. Well, I was, or at least I'm trying really hard not to be as the divorce is moving forward. I'm 37, she's 34. Our 10th anniversary is coming up in November, but we were together since 2011. I think I stuck it out as long as I possibly could. Long story short, she's a cheater, a prolific cheater, and I used to excuse it because of the BP. I thought, gee, hypersexuality is a symptom of this, so if I leave her for being hypersexual during a manic phase, then I'm an asshole. It's basically leaving your wife while she's suffering from cancer. That's what kept me in the marriage for so long, and also the fact that I swore in sickness and in health, but our relationship has been almost entirely sickness. At the end of the day, I had to admit that our marriage vows were not a suicide pact. I also had to realize that her cheating goes beyond being BP, and she can't use her disease as an excuse for abusing me and cheating on me, which she used as an excuse all the time. I know there's a rule about armchair diagnosing here, so I won't do that, but she also suffers from persistent auditory hallucinations even when baseline, which is a symptom not of BP1, but of schizoaffective disorder. Not a diagnosis, just a statement of facts. But it makes me wonder if her BP1 diagnosis is wrong because her doctors have never seen this symptom, as she hasn't been under psychiatric care for a while. Her psychiatrist dropped her, moved away, and she hasn't been able to find a new one in a year. That's when the hallucinations got bad. To all those out there struggling, my advice based on my experience with my wife is get out while you can. This doesn't get better, it gets worse. Maybe BP2 is manageable in a relationship, but BP1 is a whole different ballgame. Psychosis, hallucinations, paranoid delusions. Don't fuck with it, just get the hell out while you can, preferably before you waste a decade. I wouldn't wish full-blown mania on my worst enemy. Anyway, does anyone else here have experience with cheating BP spouse? Did you forgive? How many times?
OP, you should keep your head up. Seriously, I know it's hard, but you're sticking to your guns, and by doing that, you're respecting and loving yourself in the process. For now though, just keep putting yourself first. You deserve it. I will continue to look out for your next update, because I have a strong feeling that this will not be your final post. Until then, good luck. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.